Well, however incredible this might seem, here's a Honda XL 350 engine, and it's a 4-valve side port. Well, what about that then? Well, it's actually not the engine that I've recently been discussing, although that one's still here. The one that's been smoking and burning the oil, that's on stop while we wait for a new set of piston rings to arrive. We're going to try them and just see if that finally sorts out the problem with that one. But just like buses, these things, there's supposedly some kind of rarity, all come along at once. And here's another one, owned quite locally, this one, by an old friend of mine. And his bike was running, but it lost power and it was losing compression. And I said that we'd be able to find out whether it was the valves or not by taking the carburettor off and listening for any hissing back through the inlet port if the inlet valves weren't seating. Well, all was alright there. So I said, oh well, we'll get the exhaust pipe off and press the kickstarter, and if there's any chuffing there, you'll know it's blowing past the valves. And of course there was quite a lot of chuffing in the exhaust port. So I said, oh, your valves are probably burnt. And I checked that they had free play on their tappet adjusters. They weren't being held open or anything by the camshaft or the rockers, but there was chuffing in the exhaust port. So we decided he'd get the engine out and bring it here, and I'd take the head off and have a look, and we'd get the valves out and do whatever we had to do with them. But we found out that valves are near impossible to get apparently, but he got a head gasket anyway, and I decided I'd get the head off and just sort of have a look, just in case perhaps I might be able to grind the valves in and reseat them or something. Anyway, there's the underside of the cylinder head, and look at this. For whatever reason, Honda have put a void space in the cylinder head gasket there, which corresponds with this strange little channel in the gasket face of the cylinder head, which has got a hole, an opening in it, going up to the exhaust port. The head gasket has blown into this little void space, and the compression has been escaping through that little hole and into the exhaust port. So I haven't actually tested them yet, but I'm about to. But in all probability the valves are probably okay and probably gas tight, and it probably is only a matter of fitting a new head gasket to this engine to return it to good working order again. So fingers crossed, that's what I'll be doing.